Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys, wherever you are on this beautiful world, whenever you're watching this YouTube video. Welcome to the Bitcoin Family YouTube channel. For the newcomers, my name is Didi. This over there is Kenzo. He's doing a TA video with me today about Bitcoin. I have some amazing charts to share with you, and there's some huge discussion going on about BRC20 tokens, ordinals on the Bitcoin blockchain. Is this good or bad? Also, gonna spend some time to explain what I think about that. Now, let's quickly jump into the first chart and then in the rest of the information in this short TA video. I didn't make a video yesterday, sorry for that, but yesterday I was too busy and I had a lot of things to do, and I'm spending a lot of time here with my family and parents-in-law, of course, so forgive me for not making a video yesterday. But now let's quickly jump into the first chart over here, guys. This is the first chart, guys. This is the 4-hour chart. As you know, the 4-hour chart, I always look at the Bam Bam indicator. The Bam Bam indicator is turning green. You can see that there's already a long call there on the bottom, but we need to close a candle above the yellow stepping line, above the huge volume area. And then we need to check the bottom. Is it still yellow and blue? Yes, so that's not an indication for a long. We need to see the green hills. That's where the bulls play around. And on the bottom, we can see that the white line is still pretty flat. It needs to turn up, which it's doing now, and the blue line needs to be above it to have a quadruple confirmation to take that long. So it's waiting a little bit more, but if that long will be taken, it would be a crazy good long, because you know there is a lot of upward movements to possible to 28,700, which is a nice long to take. Short-term thinking, guys. Let's jump into the long-term charts, way more important. Now, there is this chart that we need to talk about today, and it is this one. Yesterday, 628 Bitcoins were paid in fees. As you can see, there's a huge peak on the chart. It's almost as big as the top of 2017. That moment, we were spending almost 1,800 Bitcoins in fees. Now, we can see that we are almost the second highest top since then, spending 625 Bitcoins in fees, and we are just leaving the bear market. We are not even in the bull market yet. And this spending on Bitcoin fees is all because of the BRC20 tokens. People are creating meme tokens and other kind of tokens and testing to create tokens on the Bitcoin blockchain. And of course, because of the ordinals, the NFTs on the Bitcoin blockchain. And this is driving the fees up. So is this good or is this bad? That is the question. In my opinion, it's not that good to build all that stuff on the Bitcoin blockchain, because we have a second layer chain, it's called Liquid, that is created to build all that stuff, to create ordinals, to create BRC20 tokens. The Liquid chain is supposed to be used for this. So in my opinion, the Bitcoin blockchain shouldn't be used for this, and should be used for Bitcoin transactions when it comes to the monetary system or peer-to-peer cash. But on the other hand, it isn't bad as well, because the miners, they will be very happy at the moment, because the miners earn when there is fees being paid, and there is a shitload of fees being paid now in this bearish market still, at the end of the bear market of Bitcoin. So just imagine if this catches on, how many fees will be paid in the total bull run that is upcoming now to 2025, if these ordinals catch on the Bitcoin blockchain, if the BRC20 tokens catch on the Bitcoin blockchain. The miners will be the ones that are going to make a shitload of money, and that is good, because that will make the whole Bitcoin blockchain even more safe. The more value is there, the more fees are being paid, the more full the blocks are, etc., etc., etc. That will lead to an even safer Bitcoin blockchain. So that's why the whole community is kind of like 50-50. 50% says no, 50% says yes. And on the other hand, yes, it's very good for the Bitcoin blockchain and the value of the blockchain and the fees of the miners, and it incentivizes them to keep the Bitcoin blockchain safe, which means, you know, miners don't need to sell their Bitcoins to break even at the moment, because normally there's a few players in this market that can put a little bit sell pressure on the Bitcoin. That's the exchanges, because they earn fees because of trading. They can sell those Bitcoins into the market, so that's selling pressure that brings the Bitcoin price down. And it's the miners. They earn fees because of mining Bitcoin. And so these exchanges and the Bitcoin miners combined, they can influence the price because they sell their Bitcoins to make profit, to pay for their employees and their buildings and everything else. So people need to understand that's not only you and me that is trading Bitcoin and that moves the price around. No, it's also the exchanges. It's also the miners. Every day new Bitcoins are being created. This the halving still around 6 Bitcoins a block. It will move into 3 Bitcoins a block in the next halving. And these Bitcoins will be released into the market through the miners. And these miners decide when to do this. So if these miners are making a shitload more of money because that Ordinals or BRC20 tokens are being created on the Bitcoin blockchain and create even more fees, there is no selling pressure for the Bitcoins because they can make profit because of those fees, pay the employees, the buildings, everything else because they make profit, and keep the Bitcoins, so no selling pressure, so the Bitcoin price can increase even more higher. Very difficult stuff. Maybe I need to make another video or do an AMA about it, but I will try to explain this as much as possible in the next couple of videos as well. I want to keep this one short, so I'm going to jump into the next chart, guys. Now, the next chart that I want to talk about is this one, because this one is the halving. And as you know, with the halving, you can see that the issuance of Bitcoin is shrinking. At the end, it will even shrink to zero. So that's what we just talked about. You can see we are now at 6.25 Bitcoins for each block. And from the 2024 halving, that will be 3.125 for each block, and etc., etc., etc. At the end, this annual issuance of Bitcoins will be shrinking to zero. So that is when these Ordinals, BRC20 tokens still will provide the miners of fees. So that is the good part. So when Bitcoin has been minted to the last Bitcoin in 2140, the miners will still have a revenue model because of the BRC20 tokens and, for example, now the Ordinals. So very important to understand. Now, then there is another chart, the Bitcoin miner revenue from fees. This one also explaining the same. So you can see completely at the right side how much miner revenue there is because of the fees. At the moment, it's 23% revenue because of the fees. Really beautiful. So there's a difference between mining Bitcoins, selling those Bitcoins, that's of course revenue, but also earning revenue because there is a lot of fees because people spend their Bitcoins. So there's two things. Miners make money. One side, it is mining of Bitcoins. They can sell a full Bitcoin for the price the Bitcoin goes for at that moment. And the other hand, it's the fees that people pay to transact Bitcoin. So that's a complete mining model. So it's beautiful to see that now 23% almost is created because of fees. Beautiful. Now we can see that Bitcoin still is in profit for a lot of people. At the moment, it's more than 77% of the people that is in profit. So I'm saying people, I'm meaning Bitcoin. So 77% of the Bitcoins around are in profit. How can we know this? Because the blockchain is transparent. We can see all the data, and we know that 70% of the Bitcoins are bought at a cheaper price than we are right now. So even also that is not creating selling pressure. So there's a lot of things that are not creating selling pressure now for the people. They are in profit. For the miners, because they earn fees now with Ordinals and NFTs as well, for example. And also for the exchanges, there is no selling pressure because most people don't have their Bitcoins anymore on those exchanges. There's a lot of things that are very positive for the creation of a huge, massive bull run in the next 1.5 years, guys. Now, then there is this chart of Plan B. He's telling us now, look how beautiful the price is in line with the difficulty, with that red line. It's beautiful to see that Bitcoin is going in line with that one. Of course, the stock-to-flow model is a little bit higher. That blue line, we should go to that line around the halving. But the difficulty line, yeah, Bitcoin is really beautiful following that line. So the difficulty is also important when it comes to the Bitcoin price. Pause the video and analyze it for yourself. I want to keep this video a little bit short. Now, a very important picture. This was the First Republic Bank. Yes, you know, the one that is also bankrupt. And then this moving truck was in front of the public bank. Be your own bank, buy Bitcoin. That's how I love this industry. The industry needs to be about humor, and it needs to show people the power of Bitcoin and being your own bank instead of trusting all those banks that are collapsing one by one. Now, and then the last thing, guys, it is very important for you to understand that if people in your family tell you, you're crazy, Bitcoin is going to go to zero, you know those people, all of them almost, they will tell you over and over again, you're crazy, you're crazy. This is very important to understand. Here is to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs and the square holes, the ones who see things different. They are not fond of rules and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them because they change things. They push the human race forward, and while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world, they are the ones who do. Very important quote. Steve Jobs once said, yes, I consider myself as one of the crazy ones. To be or not to be, maybe you need to be a little bit crazy to go all in, but that's the peaceful revolution of Bitcoin. We are withdrawing all our funds from those banks because we are crazy enough to do that. We will change that system in the future. So I would like to invite you all to do the same. Live unbanked. My family, 3 daughters, my wife and I are living unbanked already now for 6 years. It is possible. We are showing it. We are doing it. So why wouldn't you do it? Because that is making Bitcoin even more powerful, and withdrawing your cash from banks makes them weaker and makes us win this peaceful revolution and makes us be able to change the world to a better place for our children. Bitcoin is a peaceful revolution that will make it possible to create a peaceful, anarchistic political system where people really get to decide again what happens in their world. Yes, a real democracy, because we can build the future better on Bitcoin blockchain. Now, that was everything for today. I hope you really enjoyed this information and the video. If you did enjoy it, then give the video a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, leave a comment. What do you think about all of this? If you like it, then give 2 thumbs up. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow again. Bam.